The alien ship moved through space like a dark shadow. The Crimson Talon was huge, bigger than any human ship ever built. Inside, the Zephyrians prepared for their favorite game. They were tall creatures with 4 arms and skin that looked like broken glass. Their eyes glowed red in the dark. Huntmaster Krikstal stood in the ship's main room. He looked at the planet below through a large window. The world was green and blue, covered with forests and oceans. Perfect for hunting. The humans living there had no idea what was coming. "Tell me about these creatures," Krikstal said to his. Science officer Dr. Zefek pulled up pictures on the screen. "They call themselves humans. They have soft skin and only 2 arms. No claws, no fangs, no armor. They should be easy to hunt." Krikstal smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Good. We need sport after the last world. Those rock creatures were too slow. These humans will run fast and scream loud." On the planet Haven's Rest, Jake Murphy walked through the main town. He was a big man with short gray hair and scars on his hands. He used to be a soldier, but now he ran the colony. Something felt wrong today. 3 families had gone missing from the outer farms. No bodies, no signs of a fight. Just empty houses. Lisa Carter met him at the medical center. She was a doctor, small and smart, with kind eyes. "Jake, you need to see this," she said. She led him to a back room where a man lay on a bed. His name was Bill Thompson. He was a farmer who lived near the mountains. His clothes were torn and burned. Strange cuts covered his arms and chest. "He won't talk," Lisa said. "But he keeps saying the same thing over and over." Jake leaned close to the injured man. Bill's eyes were wide with fear. "Monsters from the sky," he whispered. "4 arms, like demons." Jake felt cold. He had seen many things in the war, but this was different. How many others? 2 more came in last night. Same injuries. Same story about sky demons. High above the planet, the Zephyrians watched the human town through their screens. They had been studying the humans for weeks. The creatures lived in small groups, grew food, and built simple machines. They seemed peaceful and weak. "Begin the first hunt," Krikstal ordered. 3 hunting ships left the Crimson Talon. Each ship carried 4 Zephyrian hunters. They wore special suits that made them hard to see. Their weapons could burn through metal. They had hunted on 50 worlds before this one. The first ship landed near Millfield, a farming town with 200 humans. The Zephyrians crept through the fields at night. They moved like ghosts, making no sound. Their plan was simple: capture some humans alive for sport, kill the rest. Pete Johnson was checking his crops when he saw the first alien. The creature was 8 feet tall with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. Pete had never seen anything like it, but he knew danger when he saw it. He ran toward his house, shouting warnings. The Zephyrians laughed and chased him. To them, this was the best part of the hunt. The fear in their prey's eyes made the game more fun. Pete burst through his front door. His wife Mary was making dinner. Their 2 children sat at the table. "Get to the basement," Pete yelled. Now, the aliens came through the windows like living nightmares. Their claws cut through the walls. Their weapons burned holes in the furniture. The family ran down the stairs to the basement, but Pete had a secret. He used to work in the mines before he became a farmer. He knew how to make things explode. In the basement, he had boxes of old mining charges. He grabbed one and ran back upstairs. The lead Zephyrian was standing in the kitchen. It saw Pete and smiled. "Run, little prey. Make this fun for us." Pete pulled the pin from the charge. "I'm not your prey," he said. The explosion destroyed half the house. The Zephyrian hunter died instantly. Pete died too, but he had saved his family. The other aliens retreated, confused. Their prey was supposed to run, not fight back. News of the attack spread fast. Jake Murphy called all the colony leaders together. Lisa Carter treated the wounded. The humans were scared, but they were also angry. "What do we know?" Jake asked. "They're not from this world," Lisa said. "The weapons use some kind of energy beam. The creatures are strong and fast." Ryan Blake, the colony's engineer, spoke up. "The farmers are saying they have 4 arms and can see in the dark. They're hunting us like animals." Jake nodded. He had fought aliens before, but never like this. "We need to warn everyone. Get people to the main towns. Set up watches." But the Zephyrians were already planning their next hunt. They had lost 1 hunter, but they had learned something important. These humans were different from their usual prey. They fought back. Crickstall studied the reports from the first hunt. The creature used an explosive device. It chose to die rather than be captured. Dr. Zefek looked worried. "This is unusual behavior. Most prey species try to escape or hide." "It makes the game more interesting," Crickstall said. But inside, he felt something he had never felt before when hunting. He felt uncertain that the hunt had begun, but neither side knew yet how it would end. The Zephyrians thought they were hunting weak prey. The humans thought they were fighting monsters. Both were about to learn they were wrong. 2 weeks passed after the first attack. The Zephyrians came back 3 more times. Each time, they found the humans ready for them. This was not what they expected. Ryan Blake worked in his garage, turning farm tools into weapons. He was a thin man with dirty hands and a quick mind. He had learned to make simple guns from pipe and metal scraps. The weapons were not pretty, but they worked. "How many do we have now?" asked Michelle Torres. She was a teacher who had become a fighter. Her students were safe in the underground shelters she had built. 50 pipe guns, 20 crossbows, and a lot of sharp metal, Ryan said. "Not much against energy weapons, but better than nothing." Michelle nodded. She had changed a lot in 2 weeks. Before the attacks, she taught children to read and write. Now she taught them how to hide and run. The children learned fast. Too fast. The Zephyrians did not understand what was happening. On their ship, Huntmaster Crickstall looked at the reports. His hunters were getting hurt. Some were dying. This had never happened before. "They set traps," said one hunter. His name was Vexter, and he had a bandage on his arm. "The humans dig holes and put spikes in them. They hide explosives in their food stores." "Impossible," Crickstall said. "Prey does not hunt the hunters." But the facts were clear. In the last raid, the humans had killed 2 Zephyrians and wounded 5 more. They used simple tricks, but they worked. The humans were learning from each fight. Dr. Zefek studied the captured human equipment. Their weapons are crude, but effective. They use what they have and make it deadly. This shows high intelligence. "All prey has some intelligence," Crickstall said. "It makes the hunt more fun." "This is different," the doctor said. "They adapt. They learn. They change their behavior based on our tactics." Down on the planet, the humans were indeed changing. Tony Rodriguez had been a soldier before he became a medic. Now he taught the colonists how to fight wounded and keep moving. He showed them how to make bandages from clothes and medicine from plants. "Pain is just information," he told a group of farmers. "It tells you something is wrong, but it doesn't mean you stop fighting." The farmers listened. They had seen their friends die. They had lost their homes, but they were still here, still fighting. They were getting stronger. Amanda Walsh had been a police officer on Earth. She knew how to organize people and make plans. She divided the colonists into small groups. Each group had a job. Some watched for aliens, some made weapons, some took care of the wounded. "We can't fight them straight up," she told Jake Murphy. "They're bigger and stronger. But we know this. Land, we know each other. That's our advantage." Jake agreed. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but they were not giving up. Every day, they got better at staying alive. Every day, they learned something new about their enemies. The Zephyrians learned things too, but what they learned worried them. The humans did not act like prey. When most creatures were attacked, they ran away or gave up. The humans got angry. They got organized. They got dangerous. In the fourth raid, the aliens attacked a mining camp. They expected to find scared workers hiding in the tunnels. Instead, they found an ambush. The humans had rigged the mine with explosives. When the Zephyrians went inside, the humans blew up the entrance. 12 alien hunters went into the mine. None came out. Crickstal stared at the reports. 12 of his best hunters dead. The humans had trapped them like animals and killed them all. This was not sport. This was war. "We need to change our approach," Dr. Zefik said. "These humans are not normal prey." "What do you mean?" Crickstal asked. The doctor showed him data on his screen. "I've been studying their biology. When they are stressed, their bodies produce chemicals that make them stronger and faster. They can ignore pain and keep fighting when they should be dead. All creatures have survival instincts, not like this. Look at these readings." The doctor pointed to numbers on the screen. "Their adrenaline production is 10 times higher than normal. Their pain tolerance increases by 300% under stress. They become more dangerous when cornered, not less." Crickstal felt something cold in his stomach. In all his years of hunting, he had never seen prey that got stronger when attacked. Usually, fear made creatures weak and stupid. But these humans seemed to get smarter and tougher with each fight. On the planet, the humans were proving the doctor right. Mary Johnson had lost her husband Pete in the first attack. Instead of breaking down, she had become one of their best fighters. She could hit targets with her homemade rifle from distances that amazed everyone. "I'm not doing this for revenge," she told Lisa Carter. "I'm doing this so no other family has to go through what we did." Lisa understood. She had changed too. She was still a doctor, but now she also knew how to make poison from local plants. She had learned to set broken bones while under fire. War changed everyone. The humans were also learning about their enemies. Kevin Adams was a quiet man who ran the colony's library, but he had been a codebreaker in the military. He listened to the alien radio signals and began to understand their language. "They call us soft meat," he told the others. "They think we're weak because we don't have claws or thick skin." "What else do they say?" Jake asked. Kevin looked grim. "They're getting scared. They keep talking about how we're unnatural and wrong. I think we're not what they expected." The humans were definitely not what the Zephyrians expected. Every hunt was getting harder. The prey had become hunters. The game had become a war. And the Zephyrians were losing, but the worst was yet to come. The humans had sent a message to Earth. Help was coming. The Zephyrians thought they were fighting a small group of farmers and workers. They had no idea they had just declared war on the human race. The hunting season was about to become very different. The Zephyrians would learn that humans were not prey. They were predators who had been sleeping. And now they were awake. 3 months had passed since the first hunt. The Zephyrians had lost 47 hunters. The humans had lost 12 people. This was not how hunting was supposed to work. Rebecca Stone crawled through the wreckage of the communications building. She was an engineer who had come to Haven's Rest to build better radio systems. The aliens had destroyed her work 3 times, but she kept rebuilding it. Her hands shook as she connected the last wire. The long-range transmitter was almost ready. If she could get it working, she could contact Earth. The colony needed help. But more than that, Earth needed to know what was happening. "Rebecca, hurry up," whispered Carlos Martinez. He was a big man with scars on his face and hands that never stopped moving. He had been a Special Forces soldier before he became a farmer. Now he was a soldier again. Carlos watched the sky through broken windows. The aliens could come back any time. They seemed to know when the humans tried to use long-range communications. But this time would be different. This time they were ready. "Got it," Rebecca said. The transmitter hummed to life. She quickly typed a message and sent it toward Earth. The message contained everything they knew about the aliens, their technology, their weaknesses, their ship locations. The response came back in 10 minutes. It was short and simple. Message: received. Hold position. The fleet is coming. Rebecca smiled for the first time in weeks. Help is on the way. But Carlos did not smile. He had been in enough wars to know that help might come too late. "How long?" he asked. 6 months, maybe. 7. Earth is far away. Carlos nodded. 6 months was a long time. A lot could happen in 6 months. But now they had something new. Hope. On the Zephyrian ship, Dr. Zefik made a terrible discovery. He had been studying the humans' computer systems, trying to understand their technology. What he found made his blood run cold. "Huntmaster, you need to see this," he said. Quickstall came to the science lab. He was tired and angry. The hunts were not fun anymore. They were hard work, and too many of his hunters were dying. "What is it?" he asked. The doctor showed him files on the screen. "I've been reading their history. These humans are not what we thought." "Explain." Dr. Zefek pointed to pictures of Earth. "Their home world is a death trap. Look at these creatures. Lions, tigers, bears, sharks. The humans had to fight all of them just to survive." Quickstall looked at the images. The animals were impressive, but he did not understand the problem. "So? We have dangerous animals on our world too. Not like this. Look at this." The doctor showed him more files. The humans did not just survive these predators. They hunted them. They turned the hunters into prey. More images flashed on the screen. Humans with spears killing massive elephants. Humans with bows hunting swift deer. Humans with simple tools, bringing down creatures 10 times their size. "They are persistence hunters," the doctor said. "They do not give up. They track their prey for days, weeks, even months. They never stop until they win." Quickstall felt something he had never felt before: fear. "What else? They're wars." The doctor's voice was quiet. "They fight each other constantly. They have weapons that can destroy entire cities. They have tactics and strategies we cannot understand." The screen showed battles from human history. Humans fighting with sticks and stones. Humans fighting with guns and bombs. Humans fighting in space with energy weapons. Always fighting, always learning, always getting better. "They are not prey," Dr. Zefek said. "They are predators. The most dangerous predators in the galaxy." Down on the planet, the humans were proving the doctor right. Jake Murphy stood in what used to be the town square. Now it was a command center. Maps covered the walls. Weapons were stacked in corners. The colonists moved with purpose and discipline. "Status report," Jake said. Amanda Walsh stepped forward. "We've got 12 teams in the field. 3 watching the aliens' landing sites. 9 setting up new traps. Casualties? None in the last week. The aliens are being more careful now." Jake nodded. The aliens were learning, but so were the humans. The difference was that humans were better at learning. They had been doing it longer. Tony Rodriguez came in with a group of wounded colonists. But these people were not victims. They were fighters who had been hurt and patched up and were ready to fight again. "The aliens tried to take the Eastern Farm," Tony reported. "We were ready for them. 4 alien casualties, 0 human casualties. Good. What's our weapon situation? Ryan Blake answered. We've got enough guns for everyone now. Plus the alien. Weapons we captured. I'm learning how to fix them. The humans had started using alien technology against its makers. It was fitting. Throughout their history, humans had always taken their enemies' weapons and made them better. Kevin Adams had been listening to alien communications all day. They're scared, he said. They keep talking about retreating. Some of them want to leave. What's stopping them? Jake asked. Pride. Their leader won't admit he made a mistake. Mary Johnson cleaned her rifle while she listened. She had become the colony's best sniper. Her weapon was built from alien parts and human ingenuity. It could kill a Zephyrian from a mile away. Let them stay, she said. We're not done with them yet. On the alien ship, the arguments were getting louder. Half the hunters wanted to leave. The other half wanted to bring more ships and troops. Huntmaster Crickstall was caught in the middle. We cannot leave, he said. We have never retreated from prey before. These are not prey, said Vexter. These are warriors. They fight like demons. They are soft creatures with no natural weapons. Crickstall insisted. Dr. Zifek spoke up. Their weapons are not natural. They are made, and they make new ones every day. Today, I saw a human weapon that fires explosive rounds. Yesterday, it was poison darts. Tomorrow, it will be something else. The doctor showed them more human history. Look at this battle. 300 humans held off 10,000 enemies. Here, a few thousand humans conquered an entire continent. They do not win by being strong. They win by being smart. The hunters looked at the images with growing fear. These humans had fought wars against impossible odds and won. They had turned their entire planet into a training ground for conflict. What do we do? Asked one hunter. Before Crickstall could answer, alarms started ringing. The ship's sensors had detected something. Multiple objects were approaching from deep space. What is it? Crickstall demanded. The sensor operator's voice was shaking. Ships, Huntmaster. Hundreds of them. They're human ships. On the planet, Rebecca Stone's radio crackled to life. A new voice spoke, strong and clear. Haven's Rest Colony. This is Admiral Patricia Hayes of the Earth Fleet. We received your message. We're coming, the humans cheered. Help was coming early. But Carlos Martinez did not cheer. He knew what this meant. The hunting season was over. The real war was about to begin. The Zephyrians had made a terrible mistake. They had thought they were hunting farmers and workers. They had actually attacked the outer edge of the most dangerous military force in the galaxy. Now they would learn what humans really were. They were not prey. They were predators. And they were very, very angry. The change happened overnight. The humans stopped running. They stopped hiding. They started hunting. Carlos Martinez stood in the forest with 20 other colonists. They moved like ghosts through the trees. The aliens had taught them to be quiet. Now they would learn what humans could do with that knowledge. Target spotted, whispered Susan Clark. She had been a pilot before coming to Haven's Rest. Now she was a tracker. Her sharp eyes found alien footprints in the mud. The Zephyrian hunting party had 4 members. They thought they were stalking human prey near the river. They had no idea that the humans were stalking them. Carlos made hand signals. The colonists spread out in a circle. This was called a surround. Human hunters had used it for thousands of years. It still worked. The aliens walked into the trap. They were looking for humans to hunt. They found humans, but not the kind they expected. Mary Johnson's rifle spoke first. The bullet hit the lead alien in the chest. The creature fell, its 4 arms twitching. The other aliens spun around, looking for the shooter. That was when the rest of the humans attacked. Ryan Blake's homemade grenades exploded around the aliens. Michelle Torres and her team came from the left with alien energy weapons. Tony Rodriguez and his group came from the right with spears and knives. The fight lasted 30 seconds. When it was over, all 4 aliens were dead. The humans had not lost anyone. "Strip them," Carlos ordered. "Take their weapons, their equipment, everything." The humans had learned to use everything. Alien weapons, alien armor, alien communicators. They took it all and made it work for them. On the Zephyrian ship, the reports were getting worse every day. Huntmaster Kriegstall read them with growing horror. 12 hunters missing. 8 hunters found dead. 3 hunting parties completely wiped out. How is this possible? He asked Dr. Zephyg. The doctor had been studying human tactics. They are using our own methods against us, but they are better at it than we are. Impossible. We are the greatest hunters in the galaxy. No, the doctor said quietly. We were the greatest hunters in the galaxy. Until we met humans. The doctor showed him video from the last battle. The humans moved like a pack of predators. They coordinated their attacks without talking. They used the terrain perfectly. They showed no fear. Look at this, the doctor said. He pointed to a human woman who was fighting with a knife against a Zephyrian with an energy weapon. She is smaller and weaker, but she wins. How? Kriegstall watched the video. The human woman moved like water, flowing around the aliens' attacks. She got close and struck with her knife. The Zephyrian fell. Speed and intelligence, the doctor said. They think faster than we do. They adapt faster than we do. They learn faster than we do. Back on the planet, the humans were proving him right. Kevin Adams had completely decoded the alien language. He was listening to their communications and telling the human fighters where to strike next. 3 aliens heading for the mining camp, he reported. They'll be there in 2 hours. Amanda Walsh looked at the map. Michelle, take your team and get there first. Set up an ambush at the bridge. Michelle nodded. Her team was ready. They had been farmers and teachers. Now they were soldiers. The change had been amazingly fast. The humans had also learned to use alien technology. Susan Clark had figured out how to fly a captured alien scout ship. It was small and fast, perfect for hit-and-run attacks. I've got eyes on the main ship, she reported from the air. They're not sending out hunting parties anymore. They're scared. Jake Murphy smiled. It was the first time he had smiled in months. Good. Fear is what they taught us. Now we teach them. The humans began their biggest operation yet. They called it Operation Payback. The plan was simple. Attack the aliens' main ship and take it. It sounded impossible. The ship was huge and heavily armed. But the humans had learned something important. Impossible just meant difficult. They started with small attacks. Mary Johnson and her sniper team hit the ship's sensors. Ryan Blake and his engineers destroyed the landing platforms. Tony Rodriguez and his medics poisoned the ship's water supplies. The aliens tried to fight back, but they were confused and disorganized. They had never faced an enemy that attacked from all directions at once. They're retreating to the ship, reported Kevin. Adams, all hunting parties are coming back. Perfect, said Carlos Martinez. Now we have them where we want them. The humans had learned the ship's weaknesses. They knew which doors were strong and which were weak. They knew where the weapons were and where the engines were. They had studied their enemy better than the enemy had studied them. The final attack came at night. The humans moved like shadows toward the alien ship. They cut through the hull with stolen alien tools. They crawled through the air ducts like insects. The Zephyrians woke up to find humans everywhere. In the hallways, in the control rooms, in the weapon bays. The hunters had become the hunted. Huntmaster Krikstal tried to organize a defense, but it was too late. The humans knew the ship better than he did. They had studied its design and found its weak points. "Surrender," came a voice over the ship's communication system. It was Jake Murphy, speaking from the ship's bridge. "You have 60 seconds to lay down your weapons." Krikstal looked around. His hunters were beaten, scared, defeated. These soft creatures had taken his ship and destroyed his forces. It was impossible, but it was happening. "We surrender," he said quietly. The humans had won. The colony that was supposed to be prey had captured the hunters. The farming families had defeated the galaxy's greatest predators. But this was not the end. The humans knew that more aliens would come. They were ready. They had learned to fight, and they had learned to win. The hunting season was over. The war was just beginning. And the humans were ready for war. They had been ready for war for their entire history. They had just been pretending to be farmers. The Zephyrians had made a simple mistake. They had thought that soft skin meant soft hearts. They had thought that no claws meant no danger. They had thought that a peaceful colony meant a weak enemy. They were wrong about everything. Humans were not prey. Humans were predators that had learned to hide their claws. Now the claws were out, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after the first hunt, space around Haven's Rest filled with ships. Not alien ships this time. Human ships. Hundreds of them got Admiral Patricia Hayes stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Vengeance. She was a tall woman with gray hair and cold blue eyes. She had been fighting wars for 30 years. She had never lost one. "Status report," she ordered. "The colony is secure," reported her communications officer. "The colonists have captured the alien hunting vessel. They're using it as their base now." Admiral Hayes smiled. The colonists had done the impossible. A few hundred farmers and workers had defeated a ship full of alien hunters. It was the kind of story that made her proud to be human. "Open a channel to the colony," she ordered. Jake Murphy appeared on the screen. He was wearing an alien uniform that he had taken from a captured hunter. Behind him, humans worked at alien control stations. "Admiral Hayes," Jake said. "Good to see you." "Good to see you too, Jake. I hear you've been busy." Jake looked around the alien bridge. "We learned a few things. These aliens are not as tough as they thought." "How many prisoners?" 47 aliens still alive. Their leader wants to talk." Admiral Hayes nodded. "We'll take them off your hands. But first, we have other business." She looked at another screen. It showed the Zephyrian fleet that had just arrived. 12 big ships, hundreds of fighters. The aliens had come to rescue their hunters. "They don't know yet," Admiral Hayes said. "They think they're still hunting weak prey." The Zephyrian fleet spread out in attack formation. They expected to find their hunting ship and some scared colonists. Instead, they found the human fleet waiting for them. Admiral Hayes opened a channel to the alien fleet. "This is Admiral Hayes of the Earth Fleet. You have attacked human civilians. You have committed war crimes. You will surrender immediately or be destroyed." The response came from the alien fleet commander. "You cannot threaten us, soft creatures. We are Zephyrians. We are the greatest hunters in the galaxy." "No," Admiral Hayes said quietly. "You were the greatest hunters in the galaxy. Now you're just targets." The human fleet moved like a pack of wolves. The ships were smaller than the alien vessels, but there were more of them. They were faster and more maneuverable. Most importantly, they were crewed by humans. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it was over, 8 alien ships were destroyed. The other 4 were captured. The human fleet had not lost a single ship. On the captured hunting vessel, Huntmaster Krikstal watched the battle through the windows. He saw his fleet burning. In space, He saw human ships moving like predators through the wreckage. "I don't understand," he said to Dr. Zefik. "How can they be so strong? They have no claws, no armor, no natural weapons." The doctor looked tired. "That is why they are strong. They had to make weapons. They had to learn to fight. Every day of their evolution was a battle for survival." Jake Murphy came into the room. He was carrying a human weapon, but he did not point it at the aliens. He did not need to. The aliens were already beaten. "Your fleet commander wants to talk," Jake said. Crickstall nodded. "What will happen to us? That depends on you. You came here to hunt us for sport. You killed our people for fun. What do you think should happen?" The alien leader looked at the floor. "On our world, the penalty for what we did would be death. This is not your world," Jake said. "This is our world. We do things differently here." Admiral Hayes's voice came. "Over the ship's communication system. All alien personnel, prepare for transport. You will be taken to a prison ship where you will await trial." The trials took place on Earth. The galaxy watched as the Zephyrians were brought before human courts. Some were found guilty of war crimes and sentenced to life in prison. Others, like Dr. Zifik, were given lighter sentences because they had tried to stop the hunting. Huntmaster Crickstow stood before the judge. He was asked to explain why his people had thought hunting humans would be sport. "We thought you were prey," he said. "You seemed so soft, so weak. We had hunted on 50 worlds before yours. We had never failed. What did you learn?" the judge asked. Crickstall looked at the humans in the courtroom. They were small and soft, with no visible weapons. But he had learned not to trust appearances. "We learned that humans are not prey," he said. "Humans are what happens when prey evolves into predators, and then keeps evolving." The judge nodded. "The court sentences you to life in prison. You will have time to think about what you learned." But the real punishment for the Zephyrians was not prison. It was shame. News of their defeat spread across the galaxy. The great hunters had been beaten by farmers and teachers. Their reputation was destroyed. Other alien races heard the story and made notes. Do not hunt humans. Do not attack human colonies. Do not underestimate the soft creatures with no claws. Back on Haven's Rest, life slowly returned to normal. The colonists rebuilt their farms and schools. Children played in the streets again. But things were different now. Mary Johnson kept her rifle. She had become a lieutenant in the human Colonial Defense Force. She trained new soldiers and taught them what she had learned. "Remember," she told her students, "humans are not the strongest or the fastest, but we are the most stubborn. We never give up, we never stop learning, and we never forget." Ryan Blake continued making weapons, but now he made them for the Colonial Defense Force. His designs were studied on Earth and copied across human space. Michelle Torres went back to teaching, but she also taught survival skills. Her students learned reading and writing, but they also learned how to fight and hide and live through danger. Carlos Martinez became the colony's military commander. He organized the defenses and trained the militia. He made sure that Haven's Rest would never be helpless again. The captured alien ship became a museum. School children came to see where their parents had fought and won. They learned about the hunt and about the humans who had turned prey into predators. The story of Haven's Rest became legend. It was told on every human world. Children learned about the colonists who had faced impossible odds and won. They learned that being human meant never giving up. The Zephyrian Empire fell apart after the defeat. Their client races rebelled. Their enemies attacked. The great hunters had been revealed as failures, and their empire crumbled. Some Zephyrians tried to rebuild. They sent messages to Earth, asking for peace and trade. But they had to follow human rules now. No more hunting. No more treating other species as prey. Dr. Zefek was released after 5 years in prison. He wrote a book about his time studying humans. It became required reading in alien schools across the galaxy. Humans are the galaxy's apex predators, he wrote, not because they are the strongest or the fastest, but because they are the most adaptable. They can turn any situation to their advantage. They can make weapons from anything. They can survive anywhere. But most importantly, the book continued, humans protect each other. Attack one human, and you attack them all. They will cross the galaxy to defend their own. They will never stop fighting until justice is done. The book's final chapter was titled, The Lesson of Haven's Rest. It ended with a warning that every alien species learned by heart. Never hunt humans for sport. They do not know the meaning of the word prey. Years later, Admiral Hayes visited Haven's Rest. She walked through the rebuilt town and met the people who had made history. They were farmers and teachers again, but they still carried weapons. They still watched the sky. Any regrets? She asked Jake Murphy. He looked at the memorial they had built for Pete Johnson and the other humans who had died in the hunts. We wish it had never happened. But we're glad we showed the galaxy who we really are. And who are we? Jake smiled. We're humans. We're the species that turns hunting season into war season. We're the people you don't want to make angry. The memorial had a simple inscription. Here stood humans who refused to be prey. Here began the lesson that the galaxy will never forget. And the galaxy did learn. In the years that followed, no alien race ever again tried to hunt humans for sport. The word spread from world to world, from species to species. Humans are not prey. They are predators. They are survivors. They are the people who turn farmers into soldiers and teachers into warriors. They are the species that get stronger when you hurt them, and more dangerous when you corner them. The Zephyrians had wanted to hunt the most dangerous game. They found it. But they learned too late that the most dangerous game in the galaxy was not something you hunted. God, it was something that hunted you back.